Alright, let's release a new lab. So this one, it's a silly one. Lab 9 is, I call it Morski because it's like a jumbling of Morse code and then ASCII values. So it's like somewhere in between. So it's a little silly, but let's go to that starter code. There it is. So here are all the files that you're going to get. And yeah, here's the goal. So like, it's a silly lab, I know, but I still think it's really cool. You're gonna hook into two interrupts, the sigint, the control C, and then the sigquit, which is the control backslash. You're going to override those and not let the program end, just like I was doing in class. But like, every time you press one, like you're going to like, that means you're inputting something. And if it was int versus quit, or like, sorry, interrupt versus quit, control C versus control backslash, that's one bit of information. And so every time, like, you're going to add two handlers, right? One for sigint, control C, one for sigquit, control backslash. I want you to interpret sigint, control C, as the user typing 0, and sigquit as the user typing 1. And every time the user has typed 8 bits, that's enough to fill a char, isn't it? Right? Because every char is 1 byte long. So then I want you to print it out. So like if the user types control C, interpret as a 0, control C, control backslash, control C, control backslash, control C, you've just built up 8 things. Every time you're just going to like fill in a character, essentially, each bit of a character. And every time you have 8, every 8 bits, that's enough to fill a char. Then go and, like, after you've filled up a character, go and print out that character. And this is apparently the ASCII code built up for the letter L. All right, if you want to type your name or something. So isn't that interesting? I think that's pretty funny. But yeah, you're going to be using those zeros and ones to build up characters. All right, so like every time you type 8 bits, that's a new character value that you want to print out. And you're going to do this for the user until they're done. If they type the null terminator character, which is 8 zeros, right, then you should end the program. So I've just given you a bunch of comments. Like the next time the user types something, like it's a new, like you have to refresh your character to make it back to 0. But it's just going to be a bunch of bitwise operations. Okay, so let's see if I can do any of this. Maybe I should show it to you, actually. So let's see. Before I do that, what would I like to do? Yeah, I think that's fine. Let's go and look at the morski.cpp file, because that's the main place where you're going to be working. So here's this one. Here's this file. I've done some things. Just don't get rid of this. It's a weird thing. But yeah, just use some global variables, I think, because you're going to make some signal handlers, at least one. And like you'll just have a character that you're going to keep on adding a bit to each time. And you should count, like, have I reached 8 bits? If so, I need to print out what I found. And like then zero it out again. Okay, so yeah, here's your goal. Add 2 signal handlers, one for sigint, one for sigquit. Sigint means 0, sigquit means 1. And every time you did 8 of them, that's an 8-bit number, which you can shove into your char variable with bitwise operations, right? Shift things over, etc., or with what you just found. And yeah, so a couple bitwise operations. Interpret the 8 things that you just got as a character and print it out and like reset so that you're ready for the next character. These are types 8 more sigints versus slash sigquits. Okay, if you ever see 8 sigints in a row, 8 control C's, that means 0 8 times. That's meant to be the null terminator character, and that should mark the end of the program. And you should like stop this loop. All right, so that's kind of the idea. Or sorry, you should just exit the program. Sorry, just call exit with cstdlib. This I don't want you to mess with. This is just going to make sure that the server is happy. Like it's just going to wait until the next interrupt, so that's not like wasting a bunch of CPU time. But yeah, that's more or less it. You're going to hook in to those interrupts just like I did in class, and you'll do something interesting with them this time. All right, so you're going to build up characters, and that's most of it. Let's see if I can show you something. So let's go to first of all, let's keep that there. I'll need a new one of these, won't I? Sure. let me just quickly go to my auto graders for 4509 solution. I won't show you the solution, but if you use the make file, make Morski, I think that's the rule, yeah. Dun dun dun. I don't have that installed, do I? But I can just, let me just compile it manually. G++, Morski-O, Morski, that should still be fine. Cool, so if I run it, it's waiting, and if I type these ones, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, so control C means 0, control backslash means 1, so control C, control backslash for 0, 1, then 2 zeros, 2 1s, CC, backslash, backslash, and then another couple zeros, control C, that has made an L character, and then you're ready to do it all over again. Let me just like press random things. If I do, I think M comes after L, so if I change this 0 to a 1, so it's C backslash CC backslash backslash C and then a 1 for backslash. There's my M. And so you're just going to keep on doing that. You're going to hook into that character variable, add a bit at a time, and if you see 8 zeros, that's 8 C's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that's the null terminator character, you want to stop and be done. Okay? That's the idea. So that's a silly example, but I hope that's fun for you. Okay? So there's that. Let me get rid of all this. Morski, clean it back out. What else? I've also made you, just to test your program in a cleaner way, I've made a Python program called runner.py. It will run your compiled program, so compile it first, and then if you say python3 runner.py and you give an input file, because here's what I did here. I gave you some sample inputs that will drive that Python program that just like, if it sees a 0, it'll type control C. If it sees a 1, it'll type control backslash. It's just going to do it for you. It's going to feed those into your program through the correct interrupts. I know you don't know Python, but like if you want to know, like it's sending those signals to your program as it's running. Don't worry too much about it. But if you run those, it'll just like send that stuff into your program and it'll make it work a little bit faster. So yeah, look into that if you would like. That's the Python program. Maybe I can show that to you. If I pretend to be my auto grader, I go into the auto graders. 45 solution make. So if I say python3 runner.py, give it sample input 1, it's just going to run my program for me, slowly but surely, and type out stuff. And then type the new line, and then it ended it all off. So it's just taking those things. Let's make sure I haven't changed anything. Okay, good. So back to where we were. Yeah, that's kind of what's happening. All right, so it'll run it for you, and apparently those 1s and 0s were like ABC 1, 2, 3, and then 8 zeros to end it off. So I hope that makes enough sense. You're just going to hook into those control C's and control backslashes and interpret them as characters. So it'll be a little bit of bitwise operations too. Okay, you're building up things, and remember, once you've hit 8 bits, that's a character. Print it out, and then zero out everything again, right? Refresh your character, refresh how many bits you've seen, because now you're ready to get 8 new bits to be a new character. Okay, so I think that's everything that I wanted to talk about. The sample input 2 should print hello world on a new line, and yeah, you can try it yourself if you want. But all you're turning is this file that you've messed with, morski.cpp. So silly example, but I think it's fun at the same time. So yeah, give that a try, and that will be your Lab 9. So yell at me if you have any questions, and I will see you later.